We ended that year, I believe, like 700 or 800K in revenue. I remember like in the summertime just painting fences. I think that was actually what got me interested in business in general. The hardest part really was balancing painting, like doing the actual work, and getting into business owner mode. That was very difficult. Even just going out to do estimates was difficult because I was painting all day. What you have to just make yourself do is execute, follow the teachings or follow the ways that people have already laid out, and it will work.
Hey guys, it's Casey here with Painting Business Pro. On today's episode of the PVP Show, I'm talking to Sharif from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We cover a huge amount of topics today, starting with how he was stuck on the tools for 5 or 6 years, no idea how to get off, how he finally got off, how he started a business with his brother, and now they're building a business that's headed past $1.5 million with strong margins. We get into marketing, we get into sales, we get into all the great things that are helping them grow their business. So if you're stuck on the tools or you're out there thinking about starting a painting business, tune in, listen to what Sharif has to say. You won't be disappointed. All right, here we are. Sharif, welcome. For the listeners who don't know yet, Sharif, just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, so that everybody listening to the PVV show can know who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Sharif. Me and my brother, we together own Radiant Painting Corp. We're based out of Edmonton, Alberta. And yeah, we have been painting. We've been in the industry in Edmonton for a long time, but our business is still fairly new, about 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've been painting in Edmonton for since about 2011, I think.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've been really looking forward to this conversation because for the listeners out there, Sharif and I are neighbors, basically. We live in the same city. Which is pretty rare as the token Canadian on the PVP show here, or Team PVP rather. I'm really excited to chat with you, Sharif, and get to know your business, how things are going here in Edmonton. For those of you who don't know, we can have some pretty harsh winters where the weather gets quite cold and we deal with a lot of snow. So we'll jump into a whole bunch of things today, Sharif. So I'm really looking forward to this. Right off the top, man, let's get into it. Like, what got you into painting 3 years ago? Why'd you get into painting? How'd you start? Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, we started. I got into painting a while ago. So I think around 2011 is when I got started. So I got started with college pro painters. The student painting companies. They were around, like, they would come to the university and market their whatever their gig. So actually my brother got into college pro painting first.
Okay.
And I just kind of followed his footsteps. I started working as a production manager for him when he ran his college pro franchise. And then, yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. I remember, like, just, in the summertime, just painting fences, because I wasn't really good at doing other stuff. So I remember my brother would put me in a lot of fence painting. Yeah, so college pro, back in the day, we got started, and the culture, I think that was actually what got me interested in business in general, right?
Okay.
Actually, my experience with college pro, and college pro isn't around in Edmonton anymore, but there are other student painting companies, and I think they're an awesome program if you are into business or you have some kind of like inclination for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
It really opened my eyes as to like what's possible to do with business. So yeah, that's how I got started, just painting fences back in the day, and then eventually I interviewed to run my own college pro franchise, and then I got accepted. I did that for a year, and I think by that time I already dropped out of school, or maybe I did 1 year of college pro and then I dropped out of school. And I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna keep painting because I was making money, I was doing well. So I was like, okay, I'll keep painting. So then I continued until today, right?
Here you are. Absolutely. So would you say the risk paid off then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I tried lots of other things in between. I tried to do an Amazon FBA business. I tried to do insurance, I think, at some point, like run an insurance business. So there was like lots of different things I tried, but the whole time, like, what was steady was painting.
Yeah.
And I was a painter. I was painting myself, and at some point I had a small crew as well. But I was painting throughout. I tried a few different businesses, and it just didn't really work out. And then yeah, they just went full focus into painting, and then that started to work.
Fantastic, man. That's amazing. So early days, Sharif, like walk some of our listeners through, like, you've been in business for 3 years. Obviously things are going well and you're growing, which we'll get into. But what were some of those like early challenges or struggles that you faced, like getting off the ground with that brand new business that you kicked off for yourself?
So 3 years ago is when we started our company Radian with me and my brother. But prior to that, when
Hmm.
I had my company, when I was much
Hmm.
much smaller and kind of painting myself, I would say that time was the most challenging
Okay.
time, right? Because that's when I was painting myself and I wanted to have a business, but I just didn't
Yep.
really know how to do it. Yes, I think at that time, like the hardest part really was balancing painting, like doing
Hmm.
the actual work and getting into business owner mode. That was very difficult. Even just
Yeah.
going out to do estimates was difficult because I was painting all day. I
Yep.
was actually started out as a sub for other painting companies. So that's what I
Okay.
used. Yeah, I used to sub for other companies. And then yeah, it was just very hard to find time to balance both of those things. At that time, I think I worked with a few consultants as well, like a local guys.
Okay. To try to get yourself off the tools kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't get into painting because of that. I actually wanted to have a business, but I was trapped
Mm.
in that,
Okay.
sub painter mode
Sure.
for a long, long time. So
Yeah.
I did, I contacted a few consultants and just to, see how I can get out of
Hmm.
it.
Yep.
And at that time, I actually had a local consultant that really like helped me break through that,
Okay.
right? So yeah, so I remember like him telling me like, listen, you just gotta try it. You're gonna fail a lot, and it's gonna feel like you're taking a big risk, but you're gonna have to just go for it and try it. So and then I don't know, and I just started bidding on a few jobs and just like painting really late into the night and just making myself some time to go bid on projects and things like that, and that
Gotcha.
started to work.
Okay.
So eventually, I had like I was able to get off the tools for a little bit, but I was still
Okay.
kind of on the tools.
Okay.
And then right near about COVID time is when my brother and we both were chatting and we were like, hey, we need to do something together, right? Because he was in the
Yeah.
industry as well. I was kind of struggling with my little paint shop.
Sure. Sure.
Then this is literally around 3 years ago is when we
Yep.
were like, hey, let's start something together, and that actually worked. And we can get into that, but that worked,
Yeah.
and which brought us to today, right?
Tell us a little bit, like going back, it sounded like, getting help to get you off the tools was something that clicked for you very quickly and you seek that help. Walk us through like kind of like at what point, how long were you on the tools running the business where you were like, I need to get help and you seek that help? And the second part to that is what did you try on your own before you realized I need to get help?
Pretty much the whole time I was on the tools, I knew that I wanted to run a business, right? And just by myself, it's never gonna be possible,
Hmm.
I think that period was like maybe like 6 years, something like that, 5 years,
Wow.
like a long time.
Okay.
I was doing
Okay.
that, and I was subbing for other companies. So what I think like the main thing that I can really think of is actually just getting my head straight. And I was honestly like not. I wouldn't say like I was depressed, but I was just not happy through this
Sure.
6 years. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, this is not. I didn't really see a future.
Hmm.
So it's really getting into that like a better headspace that hey, I can do this,
Yeah.
and the consultant that I work with, honestly, he's just having conversations with him. It's not like he gave me any magic pill. Like
Yeah.
we just had conversations, and he sat me down one day and he's like, "Hey, call these people. These are your contacts. Like, just call them." So
Yeah.
he sat
Yeah.
me down
Yeah.
and he made me call a few of these contacts I had, and then he also helped me join a few networking events too. Those little things actually early on helped me like start to trickle in a few of my own jobs, and yeah, that sort of started. I didn't like by myself. I really didn't start, like I didn't do anything, like I didn't really seek out like anything else other than that this consultant that I
Right, right.
was.
So it's like six years of grinding on the tools and like
Yeah.
every day being like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. And then the switch went off 6 years later. Was it you were just sitting around the dinner table one day and it was like, I can't do this. I need to get help? Or like what where when did that switch go off? And like if you could speak to some folks that are out there that are like grinding, going through it, like what's the best advice you'd give to like Sharif 6 years or I guess 9 years ago now? Like would you have done it sooner? What
Yes.
what 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 made you click?
Yeah, I think the advice should be like you can do it, right? I think that it was really the fear of getting started and like, oh, am I gonna mess it up? What will people think?
Mm,
Or like just being embarrassed about like, hey, is my pricing incorrect? There was a lot
right.
of unknowns at the time, right? There was a
Gotcha.
lot of unknowns. I wasn't sure what I was doing. Like I know I could paint.
Hmm.
I know I could paint well. I know my like the service I'd provide is good. Like I knew
Yeah.
all of that. I just didn't know the business part, right? I just didn't
Mm,
know how to price things. I just didn't know like how to grow the business. So
right.
there were a lot of those unanswered questions, but I
Yeah.
think just trying it. Once I actually got one job and that went well, then I got a next. And actually, the early on, I used to get a lot of small jobs. Like a little
Okay.
door here and
Yep.
lots of small
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
And I think you kind of have to go through that,
Sure.
not just jump and start doing like a $10,000 job. Like you
Right.
have to take on small jobs that you're not going to make a lot of money, but at least how to, just doing those things, you'll know how to deal with the client on your own,
Mm,
how to invoice, how to, collect money, like all of those little things that like when you
sure.
really start, like, you don't really know. So I
Yeah.
did a lot of small jobs in the beginning, and then yeah, I mean those led to bigger jobs, and that's kind of how it grew.
How it all went. Awesome. Cool. So 6 years goes by, and then you and brother are sitting around one day. And what's your brother's name, by the way?
It's Sharid.
Sharid. That's right. So you're sitting around. 6 years goes by. You and Sharid are just like, "Hey, we should do this." Like, was it something in the back of your mind all that time? Were you waiting for something in order to do that, or was it just like, "Why have we never done this before?"
Yeah, so my brother actually, I think he had a slightly different story because he already was good at managing and stuff. So he was working with a bigger painting company as a manager. So
Okay.
he knew the industry way better by that time already. So
Gotcha.
he was already managing big projects and managing lots of painters and things like that, right? So but I think where my brother was at the time, he was not sure if he went on his own, he could build something, right?
Okay.
Whereas I was already struggling on my own, and I knew I could build something, but I just needed a little bit help. And my
Gotcha.
my brother was like, he's more of like the safer guy, right? Like I will try to do lots of new stuff, lots of like, hey, let's do this, let's spend money on this and
Mm,
try this new thing. My brother is like, no, this is working, we stay doing this and
let's
we'll,
leave
we'll
it.
slowly
Yeah.
build, right? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was his attitude, and he didn't want to jump in and start his own business, and he was doing
Okay.
fine with this other company.
Okay.
So I think yeah, during COVID, we started having conversations, and I started telling him that, look, man, I can build this brand, like
Hmm.
all of the yeah, like all the infrastructure that this company that you're working with has, we can build it ourselves, and we
Yep.
can grow our own company.
Hmm.
So yeah, we had lots of late night conversations, and then I don't know. I think my brother, like, I had to convince him because I needed
Hmm.
him at the time because I was the
Yep.
newbie. So,
Sure. Sure.
so I had to do a lot of convincing. And then one day he's like, I don't know, maybe you have to ask him like what convinced him. I actually never did ask him about that, but
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just start, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's how we got started.
Your sales skills must have gotten sharpened over the years, Sharif, because you managed to get Sharid sold.
Yeah, I guess, right? But yeah, I definitely needed him more than he needed me, and also being brothers, we weren't sure if this will work out,
Hmm.
right?
Sure.
Because there's lots of different issues that can happen when working with
Yep.
brothers and partnerships in
Yep.
general, right?
Absolutely.
So I think we gave it a year to see how it would go. I think both of us, at the back of our minds, is like, hey, if it doesn't work in a year, we'll go do our own thing again.
Yep. Yep.
But our first year, like, luckily we did pretty good, right? It
Okay.
went well. We had
Yep.
problems like everyone
Yep.
does, but
Sure.
it went well, and yeah, so we were just like, let's keep going. Let's see how far we can take this.
Awesome, man. Touch on that a little bit. You mentioned like partnership, right? And partnerships in general are going to be tricky, and we're human beings. We'll agree on some things and disagree on other. Tell us a little bit about those early days of how you guys navigated through some of those disagreements and like where you're at today in terms of what you guys each focus on. You mentioned you're the risk taker. He likes things maybe a little bit more safer. Walk me through that those early days, how you dealt with that partnership and what it's evolved into today.
Early on, yeah, it was a lot because the business, we didn't fully understand what each of our roles would be.
Okay.
I think that we didn't start off very clean. So he was doing a lot of the sales, I was doing some sales, he was doing some production, I was doing some production. So it was kind of messy in the beginning. But I think what really helped us was kind of defining each of our roles a little bit
Okay.
better. So now I,
Okay.
I have taken over like sales almost fully. There's a
Okay.
few little things that he does that's sales related, but I would say 99% of the stuff that's sales I do now, and then anything production related he does.
Okay.
So that has helped a lot because now we're not stepping in each other's toes. We do have meetings where we kind of just make sure that everything is in line,
Hmm.
but our roles are totally separated.
Gotcha.
Early on, I think just knowing that we're not here to like we are here to serve the business. We are here to serve our customers, and we are here to serve our painters. I think
Mm.
those things help. Those helped a lot, right? Like
Right.
we didn't want like even today. I don't think our attitude is like let's see how much money we can make, right? I think we wanna make sure that like even just recently, like the last couple of months, we had a few jobs that went sideways, and our attitude, which I love because my brother is actually the one who instilled this a lot more in the
Okay.
business. It's like,
Okay.
hey, this is when things go wrong, we want to make sure that our reputation is what matters,
Mm.
not how much money we're making.
Yep.
So I think that's still the attitude, and like him being the older brother, like I try to listen to what he says, and he has
Right.
good advice, so like it works.
Yep.
I try like one of us. So when there's two partners, when there's a 50-50 partner, I
Yep.
think it helps for someone to like be the decider, the final decider,
Right.
and I think it organically became him. So yeah, that helps. Like now, if you have two partners that both try to do their own thing, I think that's a problem. So yeah, if you guys can decide who that person would be, I mean, I'm sure I still fight for my ways, for
Sure.
the things that I want, but yeah, if you can find a way where you come to a resolution where one person can, just give up a little bit, I
Sure.
think that
Sure.
helps.
Then it works. You're brothers after all, right? So it's got to be a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Sharid, if you're listening, you heard it here. Sharif said it. You give great advice. You can quote him. It's on the podcast on the
It's on
PVP
the
show.
podcast. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, cool.
If you're listening to the podcast, almost every single person that we talk to on this show is someone that we have worked with at Painting Business Pro. If you run a painting company or you're starting a painting company and you are really serious about building an amazing business while having a great lifestyle along the way, that is what we do best. When you work with us, you'll plug in to all of the systems, playbooks, training, and get coaching from me and my team. That's the training, systems, playbooks, and team that runs our currently $40 million portfolio of painting companies. It's the stuff that's working right now. We're actually doing this stuff day in and day out, and we love coaching people and helping people grow. So if you're interested in getting some help and working with us, head over to paintingbusinesspro.com and apply now, and we look forward to talking with you soon.
So you mentioned first year was really, really good. And I want to get to the good part and like where we're at now, obviously. But walk us through that first year. What was the first year? Like, can you give us ballpark? Like, what was the revenue like? How are we getting our jobs in the first year? Walk me through a bit of that startup. What was working for you guys?
Yeah. So our first year, this is something that I will take a little bit of credit for.
Hmm.
I convinced my brother that, hey, we have to start marketing on Facebook.
Okay.
Right. So my brother's like, I mean, I think we did before that, like in College Pro, we did a lot of door to door. I think in our first year, we tried that a little bit and it just didn't go anywhere. So I was like, hey, we need to start putting some money into Facebook and figuring out Facebook. And that started to work for us. This was, I think, 2021, I think that was. So that's how we got our first few jobs. And we ended that year, I believe, like 700 or 800K in revenue
In your first year.
in our first year. Yeah. So, and
Nice.
that's like us really not knowing how to even like, I think I had run like at most like 60 or 70K a year before
Okay.
that,
Wow.
thinking
That's a big
myself.
jump.
Yeah, so it was like nothing, like it was very small before. So like it was quite a big jump, and that kind of gave us some confidence to like, hey, this will actually, right?
Right.
So but it was mostly Facebook, where we were getting our leads from. And maybe there was a mix of, I think we did anything in Google at that time. It was just Facebook and just from our contacts.
Okay. In early days, you were learning on your own how to run the Facebook ads. Did you get help outside? Like, how did you? At what point did you know this is working and we need to do more of this and like this is real?
I think early on we actually did work with an agency, but very quickly we realized that it's not very hard to do
Mm. Yep.
Facebook ads. So we kind of got on that pretty quick. I think maybe like after
Okay.
6 months of working with the agency, I started
Okay.
running the Facebook ads myself. Sorry, what was the next part of the question?
No, that was good. I think it was yeah. So we got our revenue covered, and then early days was kind of like, when did you know Facebook was like, yes, this is our thing. When this is where we're going to do our marketing. It's working. We're going to pour more gasoline on this fire.
Yeah, I mean, when once we started to see results, honestly, we just kind of doubled down on Facebook a little bit. Till today, I don't think I am really looking at the cost per result. Like it
Hmm.
varies a lot, and I'm sure
Okay.
if I put more time into making the ads better, like working to get like every dollar, squeeze every dollar out of it, I'll probably do better.
Yep.
But that's not how we are looking at it. It's like, hey, are we getting enough
Gotcha.
jobs? And then
Yep.
is our marketing percentage number, is that like okay? Like, are we below our whatever set rate? If
Yep.
it's below that, we spend all like as much as we can on Facebook, right?
Okay.
That's the way we're doing it. Yeah.
That's a great target takeaway there. So maybe just reiterate that again. So you guys have a set budget for your
Yes.
marketing and you spend right to that budget. You don't spend any less than that. That's carved out. That's meant to be there to generate jobs for you.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we are monitoring it. We do we check our numbers every week, and very closely every month as well. We do a detailed analysis. And if we feel like, okay, we are overspending, then we pull back a little bit. But
Yep.
if we're not overspending, we just keep doubling down on marketing, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool. Okay, man. So we get through a year, 800K. Facebook ads are going really well. You and Sharid are getting along. Everything's going good. Um, Walk us through kind of how you got introduced to PVP and what areas in the business were you like, I need more help with? Like, what made you again realize I want some outside help? And how did you come across Eric, Painting Business Pro?
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole time even after the first year, things were good, but we knew that there was a lot of things that we could improve on. And obviously, Eric is all over YouTube. So I would always, look for ways to help the business, grow the
Mm,
business, and Eric's videos would always pop up.
yep.
So I think I reached out to PBP some time ago just to see if we can work together, and for one reason or the other, didn't work out back then. But I actually ran into Eric at the PCA event
Mm,
this year in February,
right.
right? And then Eric was literally walking down the hall to go to, I think he was presenting something. So I saw Eric. I was going the other way. I was like, "Hey, Eric, how's it going? Like, I'm a huge fan, right?" Something like that. But Eric's like, "Hey, he wanted to like stop and say hi, but he's like, "Hey, I have a presentation. Do you want to walk with me or something?" And then I was
Yep.
like, "Okay, yeah, I'll come walk with you."
Yep. That sounds like Eric. Just get it done now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we started chatting, and I think the first thing he asked is like, "Oh, how's business going?" and stuff like that. And I knew I didn't have a lot of time with Eric, and I just wanted to see if I could get something out of Eric, right? Like some value out of Eric. So I was like, "Hey, Eric, can I show you my numbers? Can you tell me what's wrong with my business and stuff?" I said something like that, and I pulled out my phone, and I just showed him my Google sheet, like, "Hey, these are our numbers, these are our profit, this is how much we're doing for labor, materials." And Eric looks at it, and he's like, "Hey, man, your gross profit is very low." Right.
Mm,
And we thought at that time, we were like killing it. Right. We
yeah.
thought, hey, we're making lots of money. Like, I shouldn't say lots of money, but we thought like we were doing well, right?
Doing well financially. Yeah.
And Eric looked at it as like, hey, your numbers are really low.
Right.
Your gross profits are
Right.
really low. I'm like, huh, what do you mean? He's like, if you want to invest more into marketing. So this is before we were doubling down on Facebook. This is all
Yep. Yep.
like all of that started this year after we met with Eric. But
Gotcha.
I would say at that time, he's like, yeah, if you want to grow your business, invest more into marketing, you cannot have this low of a gross profit. So that hit me, and I was like, very interesting. I didn't think about it that way. And then, yeah, I later that night we were having another event at the PCA. I talked to my brother about our gross profit issue. That hey, this is what Eric mentioned. Can we go talk to him and see what he says? Right. Anyway, so that then we talked to Eric, and Eric explained to us that look, if you this business is not hard. You know, a lot
Right.
of the problems have been solved. There's like huge painting businesses that have similar problems that they have solved already. So
Mm.
why would you try to solve that all on your own, doing it on
Mm.
your own?
Yep.
Which both like me and Sharid kind of looked at each other as like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why are we trying to like figure this out on our own?
Yep. Yep.
So literally after we came back from the PCA, we were like, we should start this program with Eric. Yeah, that's what we did.
Gotcha. That's super cool. It sounds like such an Eric conversation of just no time wasted. Let's get to it. Here's what you guys need to do. Here's the keys. Now fix it. Right.
Yeah, no,
That's
it was it
awesome.
was it was really nice, and I think Eric also spoke with a lot of confidence. And I mean, just talking to him, I could tell that he knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
So I didn't really question anything he said,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
important, I think, and that's what I think. When people say you got to be coachable, your coach also has to be the person that can make you coachable. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So Eric just has he the way he talked about it, I could tell that he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
So yeah, we just
Right.
jumped into the program and yeah, started implementing what we can.
Great. Incredible, man. So good. So since being a part of the program and tell us how long have you been a PBP member?
Since February.
Since February. Awesome. So what's been the biggest thing in your mind that's changed in you and Sharid and then in the business as well since joining in February?
I think the biggest thing is maintaining like a healthy profit margin, right? I think that was the biggest takeaway. And so we kind of after we came back from the PCA, we pretty much reorientated our business to make sure that every job we do, we are making healthy profits. So
Right.
we are saying no to a lot of low profit jobs, a lot of complicated jobs. We know we don't
Mhm.
make a lot of money, so we completely turned off those jobs and started
Yep.
going after jobs that we know we make a lot more gross profit on. So that has been the biggest change, and I think the sales training was the first thing we started implementing. It's still a work in progress,
Hmm.
but the sales training has been very helpful.
Okay.
So we started implementing some of that, and yeah, I think the other important thing was the MVP, the master business
Hmm.
plan. I
Yep.
think just having all of the numbers in one place, looking at it carefully, and yeah, and just that helps you predict what might happen in the next like 2 3 weeks, a month,
Yep.
2 months. That has been very helpful too. So we put everything in the MVP and we look at it very closely. That just gives you a little bit. Um, what do I say? Like yeah, it just gives you a better idea of what you're doing in your business, right? You're not just going blank.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that you talk about that profit because it's so important, right? I mean, there's revenue is obviously an important number, but if we're, making large amounts of money but not actually keeping any of it for ourselves,
Hmm.
then why, right? The question becomes why.
Right.
So a little spoiler alert for those of are out there, if you don't mind sharing, like at 7 or 800K, what was that gross profit at that time?
I think we were doing like maybe 35%, maybe like even lower, like 32, 35 is what we thought was normal.
Okay. And so you guys, so for those listening, we're about 7, 800K first year in 30, 35, maybe less than that. And
Yeah.
what did we shoot for? What was the goal that got, once you got into PvP, you were like, oh, this is where we need to be.
Yes. So the goal was 50%, right? So
Okay.
that's I think it's very reasonable to do. if you go after the right kind of jobs. And now you
Right.
cannot do that with every project. You cannot do that with new builds. You cannot do
Hmm.
that with some, some commercial projects. So we niche down into residential, and we are
Okay.
targeting like the affluent market. So in those markets, I think it's like very possible to do a 50% gross. So yeah,
Gotcha.
that's kind of what we're aiming for. I mean, and we still have a mix of, we do lots of different kind of work. We do residential, we do
Yep.
some commercial as well.
Yep.
So I would say most of our jobs, we are now close to that 50% gross.
Amazing. So from February to now, middle of August, you're comfortably saying we're kind of on majority of the time we're hitting that goal.
Yeah, I think we're
Fantastic.
like most of the jobs, we're kind of very close to it.
So good. So good, man. How have you found that your day-to-days changed, Sharif? Like you mentioned, having the business plan and being more organized and looking at things and whatnot, your roles have split up. What does your day-to-day look like that's different now than it was back then?
I think back then it was very chaotic. Like the other important thing that I forgot to mention was also the mastering your time trainings from the course.
Hmm.
I think that helped a lot, like organizing my days a little bit more. So having blocks for myself, like I have blocks for estimating, I have blocks for like focus work, I have blocks for when I'm gonna make phone calls.
Right.
I think organizing all of that helped a lot, so it's
Right.
not as chaotic as it was before.
Hmm.
And honestly, just like having separate roles makes it
Yeah.
very, very, very clean to
Yeah.
to work on. So yeah, I think right now I still have some days that I'm working like pretty late, but I'm able to like finish work at a reasonable time. Have my Saturdays to hang out with family. I do start work on Sundays,
Yep.
but
Yep.
Saturdays I'm like I take off, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Absolutely.
it's actually honestly I would say the biggest thing is I'm having a lot more fun running the business now than I was. I am not under so much pressure.
So good.
Yeah, so it's been a lot more fun this year.
Love that. I love that, man. So what's next? Where are you guys going now? We've got both brothers at it. We're feeling more relaxed. We're having fun. We're making a lot more profit. What's in store for Radian?
Yeah, I think like we will keep growing the business. Our we have like a lot of loyal guys that are working with us, and we want
Yep.
to make sure that these guys are happy moving
Yep.
forward. They have a stable place to work. That's kind of what we're thinking for next year, is like how can we make sure that some of these guys are happy, and if they're going to stick with us for the long run, we want to make sure that at the like they feel like they are working with a company that's helping them grow, that that it was worthwhile for them. I think that's
Yeah.
important for us. I think our goal is also like we do have some hard like numbers goal, but those change. I think
Sure.
you'll hit some, you'll surpass some, but I think what we are trying to do is, again, like this is something that my brother is instilling in the business, which I'm like all for, is like, hey, we want to make
Yeah.
sure we have the best reputation
Yeah.
as a painting company moving forward.
Yeah.
So anything we need to do to help our brand move towards that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of our main goal.
Yep.
We can talk about number goals as well if you like, but that's kind of
No,
overall.
that's awesome. That's fantastic. I mean, I love that you mentioned we set goals, we hit some, and we surpass some. We don't miss goals, right? We hit or we pass. So I love that.
We
I
missed
love
some
that.
too, but like most
Of
of
course.
them, I think we will hit.
100%, 100%. One thing I wanted to dig into, and I forgot to mention earlier, was so we live in Edmonton. For those who are not aware, it's in the province of Alberta here in Canada. It gets quite cold. I don't know the conversion. I should by now, but it's like sometimes -30, -40, lots
Mhm.
of snow. Walk us through like what your guys' approach is to the winter, because we have it for a really long time here. A lot of places it's like a 2 or 3 month winter, but we've got it a lot longer than that. So walk me through how you guys prepare for that, go through it, deal with it, all of that.
Yeah, I think the reality is your business, it does slow down here in the winter. Like unless I think I know there are a few companies that do a lot of commercial work around that time. Again, we do a little bit of it, but we just know
Yep.
that it's gonna slow down for us because we are so
Right.
heavily residential. This year, the plan is we're gonna market, specifically market for jobs in the off season,
Yep.
and yeah, put more marketing dollars just to make sure
Cool.
that we fill up that time. And what I have already started to do is some of the clients that aren't ready now, we are giving them some custom offers to see if they would do it in the off season,
Smart.
right? So things like that. But we are also preparing some of our core group. I know they will be busy
Hmm.
all winter.
Hmm.
It's the next level of subs that we work with. We are also preparing them to let them know that, hey, this is what happens in the wintertime. So just make sure that you have other opportunities as well. But at the same time, man, for us, it's just gonna be like, okay, how can we market and fill up those spots, like starting, right? I think we are already, yeah, it's like literally starting now. We
Yep.
have some ads ready to go for the winter time with some offers as well.
Yep. Yep.
That's gonna go live, I think, within the next 1 to 2 days.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna specifically market for the off season.
So middle of August, and we're starting to plan already for the winter. So we're really getting ahead of it. We're not trying to be reactive or anything like that. This is something you thought through.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we set aside some funds for marketing for this purpose exactly. So
Okay.
so we'll see how it goes. This is the first time we're going to actually do something like this where we're marketing specifically for off season. But we'll see how that works.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So you mentioned you got like your primary subs and then kind of your secondary subs. Walk us through kind of where Radian's at today. And if you don't mind, maybe we'll get into some of the revenue numbers. But like, how many crews are you guys running right now? What's the business on pace to be doing this year from a revenue standpoint?
So right now we have about 15 painters, and I think it's about five crews, I think.
Okay.
And we have like four painters that are our core group. So we
Hmm.
we use those guys, like they're busy all the time, like they're almost too busy.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but then we have a set of another three crews that takes on the overflow work. Right now we are pacing, like our goal is to do 1.5.
Okay.
I think we are pacing to be at maybe 1.3, 1.4,
Nice.
where we'll end up. But
Yep.
yeah, 1.5 was kind of a stretch goal, but we would be happy with 1.3, but
Nice.
aiming to be at 1.4.
Very
So
cool. Very cool. And your margins nice and healthy too, going from like
that's
25, 30%. We're up closer to 50 now.
That's right. So that's been our main focus this year. So we weren't really focused on just revenue, top
Hmm.
line revenue. So we were really focused on, okay, are we making sure our margins are healthy? So yeah, that's been our main thing this year, which has been pretty good. I feel like we are there where we want it to be.
Beautiful. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Well, Sharif, it was an absolute pleasure having you on today, man. I really enjoyed this conversation. If there's anything that you can give to people that are out there that are in like any of the stages that you were in, like on the tools, just starting, grinding for years, just starting their first painting company and wanting to get into a partnership, like what's the biggest advice looking back you would give to younger Sharif?
I think for someone starting out, or who's still on the tools, I think spend some money on marketing. It
Mm,
works. That would be one thing. And then if you work with a consultant, like that, like I said, like for me, that was actually a big turning point.
yeah,
Sometimes it's hard to kind of figure these things out on your own. And
sure.
again, it's not a complicated business. A lot of this stuff has already been figured out.
Yeah.
What you have to just make yourself do is execute. So just follow the like teachings, or follow the ways that people have
Hmm.
already laid out, and it
Yeah.
will work. So I would say, yeah, those two things. If you can save up some money to go market, whether it is on Facebook or something else, go to networking events or drop some flyers, or market anywhere else, just
Yep.
do that and it will work. And then, yeah, if you can find someone that can help you, like figure figure out the next steps, do that. That's this business is it. Once you can get to a good place with it, it will give you a very good lifestyle. Even a lot of the members in PBP, I can see that it gave them like a really wonderful life. And I know
Right.
Eric talks about this a lot. We're having the work life balance. Yeah, I think it's just spend some money on marketing and find someone that can help you get to the next stage.
Yeah, amazing.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the show, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a quick review for the podcast and what you gotten out of it. It helps our show reach more people and inspire more people. Thank you so much.